Our team got information that there are glaring vulnerabilities on our southern border that we're not sure the current administration is aware of. The team that tipped us off was willing to show us these vulnerabilities themselves. So we met up with Corey Gautreau and his band of patriotic volunteers that operate under the name the Goat Initiative in San Diego County to see the problem for ourselves. And what we found was jaw-dropping and clearly a national security disaster. The path across the border and into the San Diego area is not some treacherous, inconspicuous trail as one might think. It's actually cleared, well-traversed, and lined with guide markers put there by NGOs.
So the NGOs are literally marking this path, and we haven't marked it with boots on the ground.
They're facilitating this whole invasion, the NGOs that you and I pay for.
Yes. We borrow money from China to pay for them.
Yeah, yes.
The NGOs have also lined the trail with bins of supplies and bottled water for illegals making the trek. Those empty plastic bottles littered the trail for miles.
This is a repository, as it says, for humanitarian aid. Interesting that it's in English for who knows who to carry it. You've got water in here, you got ponchos, there's a lot of canned goods, and yeah, it's a well-organized effort. And you see this fire spot. You see multiple different, just here, just in this area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different little places where people have started fires. Right, the no fire sign appears to have failed. Actually, the no fire sign appears to be on fire. It appears to have been charred. Yeah, here's your no fire sign. They lit the no fire sign on fire.
That's not from fire. That's from them taking the vegetation to make fires.
Oh, so they so they'll go and cut out the brush so that they can have a campfire.
So you do it on film, put it on TV, and let's see what happens to you.
Yeah, they'd throw me in prison.
So there's a tree out here, or a bush called manzanita. It's really pretty. Up in Julian, they're all over the place. So it's kind of a reddish. I have it at my house. I can't cut it down, but it burns very well and very hot. Great for campfires, so I'm told. So again, rules for thee, not for me.
Another humanitarian drop off.
There's another fire. Yeah, look at this area.
Yeah.
Well,
what do they care if this torches? Like you say, they're trying to get out of the area in, a few hours to a few days anyway.
You can also create a diversion, right?
Yeah.
Now you're going to have all assets going to that.
On closer inspection of all the trash the illegals leave behind, we found torn-up passports, IDs, and documentation from countries all over the globe. Corey's group has been collecting and piecing together this information for the past several years and putting it all into a database. Nepal and Turkey appear to be two countries willing to print out just about any document an immigrant from any country in the world may need to make their way to the U.S. But Mexico and the Biden administration's CBP One app facilitate their entry.
These are the Mexican documents that you pay for, and it gives you the ability to come through Mexico. It's how the Mexican government monetizes the illegal immigration. It's an official document of the Mexican government. We've got a Mexico-issued document for a Venezuelan military-aged male, born in 1995, and this guy obviously came through here. This was issued on December 11th, 2024, and it expires in November of 2025. So this is Mexico's way of saying this guy's got 11 months to get through Mexico and get into the United States. We're out here and have been looking through some of the paperwork on the ground, and here are directions for how to use the CBP One app. You see CBP One right here referenced, and to receive an appointment. So this is clearly, a well-traveled route, and if you show up with your CBP One authorization, then there's no real immigration enforcement that's taken against you. So this is the outer shell of the SIM card. We found the inner part earlier, obviously different, but this gives information regarding the origin of the SIM card and the cell phone numbers. And so if you actually wanted to, I mean, these are purchased in Mexico, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you wanted to, you could put the heat on the Mexican enterprises that are benefiting off of it.
Corey and his team tell us that the Coyotes are brazen enough to actually enter a few hundred yards into the U.S.
So we've seen them come pretty far into the U.S. and normally what they'll do is they'll get up to where we were just at. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll come across a little bit to
and turn around.
Yep, and that they always take a picture, like a proof of life picture, to show that they got their load across, and then they'll head back. When we have the drone up, this is something that I wish the government would do more of. When we have the drone up, they freak out. Everybody does.
Oh, really?
So the Coyotes will not come across if the drone's up. They'll just point. I don't know. Maybe they watch those Ukrainian videos.
We're on one hiking path now, but there are, if you just look down here, you could see these are not game trails. People have been traversing this area, up these gaps. The Border Patrol knows that people are coming through here because they have a pickup spot for them. The NGOs know that there are people coming through here because they have the water and the stuff out for them. The firefighters know that this is a well-traveled area because they constantly have warming fires, which are actually illegal immigrant fires, destroying thousands of acres of habitat and wildlife and private property around here. So everybody knows it. We have not come to a secret place. We're on the U.S.-Mexico border, right in the San Diego area, and there's no wall, there's no protection, and it's being exploited.
Surveilling the border virtually every day for the past several years, whether it's with their infrared cameras, drones, or with their own eyes, Corey's group has noticed some problems plaguing the Border Patrol and all the agencies at the southern border.
These agencies, like the Sheriff's Department, I'm not speaking to everybody, right? The rural deputies, some of the rural deputies don't trust the Border Patrol at all because of the last 4 years. So they haven't. We are primed for another September 11th because agencies are not trusting each other again. They're not working with each other. So the sheriff knows one of the drop-off locations, but he won't share it with Border Patrol or HSI because he doesn't trust them. And they sit in those little pillboxes that they've made, and they watch and watch and watch. They wait till like I said, they wait till shift change, and then they'll push a group through, or drugs, or whatever.
Yeah, they know when the shift change is.
Yeah, it's
why they don't do overlapping shift changes is mind-boggling.
Yeah, in the hospital, that's what we did. This is where the fence ends from the ocean. Now there's, like I said, there's little gaps, but this is where the fence ends all the way past to where we came in. Massive area. So also over here we found with the drone, we flew the drone down there, they built rock like pillboxes almost, and they're just sitting there with the binoculars.
The trackers.
Yeah, the spotters. I've seen one ordering.
There's nobody. Yeah. I mean, I thought those guys radioed that there was Border Patrol.
Yeah, there's some down here, but we just went up and down on the entire mountain.
Up and down the entire mountain.
No wall.
Saw, at least was a half mile to a mile of border, such that you could call it one.
This would be such great training for the Marines, for anybody doing foot patrols on this.
Bro, if you put 400 Marines in this area, this would be secure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need
Serato.
Yeah, you give the full tech pack and, recon, you could have all this taken care of. How many of these gaps are in the San Diego area where there's just nobody?
One. So back to the road that we came in on, the actual highway.
Yeah.
So let's, from the 250 monument over, that's one. Big gaps, right? One, and then it picks up by Tecate and then stops again. So three very large gaps. Now there's little gaps.
Yeah.
Like there's a double wall up here, but then it goes like this, and then there's nothing right here. Like this one stops and this one begins, but you just go like that. Now there's a good argument for that, which is they have sensors it feeds people into that spot, so it's easy to grab them.
Well, yeah, but you have to grab and deport. What they were doing was feeding him to that spot and then doing catch and release.
We came in off the highway. We've gone probably about, I don't know, 10, 12 miles. It seems like there's a massive shortage of agents, and there's no wall, so it's just free game out here. I mean, we're probably talking about 10 miles total of no wall in San Diego County. So there's big gaps, and then there's little gaps. Well, the traffic has died down a lot, but what we're seeing is still the gaps where there's no fence. People are still coming through. So this is the 250 monument. This is very important. Look over here to the left.
Yeah, I see it.
Over here. See these trails?
Uh-huh.
This is near where the guy was shot.
Oh, man.
So I would normally hop out, have you take a picture right here. This is a very sketchy area. A lot of bad things have happened right here. They do not like when we put cameras there. I mean, less than 24 hours, sometimes less than, I think we had one up that was up for like 2 hours, and they came and grabbed it. Now they'll come across armed into the U.S. with guns. I have pictures of them in the U.S. with guns. And they just don't care. Now, why is it so significant when you have this whole area? I can't figure it out, because you still have to go over multiple mountains to get to a place where you could potentially get picked up.
Unless they're filling different stash areas here and then going back to Mexico and then trying to nestle that contraband within a moving group of illegals.
One of the guys told me they got a new contract for new vehicles for this specific area.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think they are?
Please don't tell me they're like sedans.
Electric.
Oh no. No.
How are you going to use an EV out here?
It's gonna be a challenge. I didn't see any charging stations. So we're here at the U.S.-Mexico border. This barbed wire signifies the border, and it's a well-known smuggling route. You see there's no wall. You see there's no National Guard, no Marines, no Border Patrol. This is an area that is entirely governed by the networks of NGOs working alongside the smugglers and the cartels to get people in the country. And so we would ask the administration and our good friends working to seal the border not to just send a bunch of Marines to a place where you already have double wall, but let's get up here in the mountains. You put Marines here on this hill, there will not be all this trash and all this evidence of smuggling that we see. This is totally a consequence of the area not being governed and controlled by the United States of America.